it's for sale. There's a guy, Michael Roberts. He's a billionaire, and he does stuff in the Black Business School. And I asked him, I said, how do you decide, when you want to sell your businesses? And he said, my businesses are always for sale. They're always for sale. You just have to make the right offer. And that is basically his way of saying, I've always got a limit price in the order book. I've always got a price I'm willing to sell for. You got to decide if you want to pay it. And so if something changes, and this is the beauty of options, options are built around possibility. Options live in what I refer to as the fifth dimension, meaning you got the three dimensions, length, width, and height, and then you've got the fourth dimension, which is time. So something is going to happen on the timeline. The price will be something, but the fifth dimension isn't what the price actually becomes. The fifth dimension is all the possibilities of the price, all the different things it could have become, right? Just like if you watch a football game and your team loses by 1 point, you start living in the fifth dimension. You might start thinking, "Gosh, if he had just thrown the ball a little faster, we would have won." Or if he had not fumbled the ball, things would have gone different. So you live in the fifth dimension where you're measuring all these quantum possibilities of all these other realities that could have come to be. Options live in the fifth dimension. Option prices, where they come from, is mathematically, a lot of nerds like me sit around on a computer and they calculate all the possible things that can happen with this stock. And then it all collapses into a three-dimensional thing that you can actually touch and feel right now, which is what makes it very powerful. So when I say that when you sell, say, an out of the money call option where it hasn't even hit the strike price, you can't even exercise that now in this reality. That literally that's really a financial time machine. That's really very powerful that you can sell something that hasn't even happened yet because you're basing it all on probabilities. Okay. All right. So let me move back to the slides and let's jump back in and see what we can say we said we saw. Okay. So give me a second here. All right. Let's see. And I kept saying we're going to talk about the Greeks. Isn't that funny? We haven't got to the Greeks yet. All right. So let me pull up the slide on the Greeks. That's where we really want to go next. So we're still, who said so we're still gambling? Yeah, Kevin, that's a great point. Yeah, in a way you are. You are. You're investing in things, in possibilities and probabilities. But remember, gambling doesn't always mean that you're taking on extraordinary amounts of risk or that you're willing to bet it all and all this stuff. But investors, to some extent, have risk exposure, which means, yeah, there's a little bit of the gambling in there. There's a little bit of like, gosh, I hope this works out. Sometimes also you can tilt the odds in your favor by doing due diligence and research to sort of look at all the possibilities. With banks, for example, they do what they call stress tests to say, what if this thing happens? Are you prepared? What if that happens? Are you prepared? Right? So you can do calculated risk taking, and that's the difference between investing and gambling. Um, Investing does leave room for calculated risk taking, and sort of you're better off if you do a little bit of analysis or if you minimize your exposure by taking certain steps. Whereas gambling, you're just kind of rolling the dice, and the gambling gods decide if you're going to win or lose. But with investing, there are little things you can do. For example, when you are a long-term stockholder in a diversified portfolio, you eliminate almost all your risk. All the risk that everyone talks about with investing goes away if you give yourself two things: time and diversification. If you give yourself time and diversification, almost all the risk goes away. This is what the data says. So that means if I've invested in 30 different S&P 500 companies and I hold that stock for 10 years or more, my chances of losing money are damn near zero. They're almost zero.